Why are my feet always cold?
Because you touch yourself at night. And it seems to be alive. Hello everyone and welcome to a terrible stream for terrible people. How are we all doing this fine week? We've had a bit of a stormy one this week with bastard weather, as is the best way to describe it. It's been fucking cold as well. I mean, if you got the first bit of the stream, I assume that you heard Mrs. Sick talking about her cold feet.
Yeah, but I'm always cold.
You are always cold, except when it is cold. When you're like, it's not that cold.
I'm outside in a t-shirt.
It's fucking weird. There's just times when if I'm absolutely pissing cold, she's absolutely fine. Except on a hot day, she'll be sitting there shivering with a fucking icicle growing off her nose. I don't know what's wrong with you, but clearly it's something.
Many things, apparently.
Right, let's actually see if we can see this chat. Since thingamabob, you've got your glasses on, haven't you? There you go.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah. This is sick. Hot damn. Thank you, Josu.
She's not hot or a damn.
I'm not cold. I'm really cold.
Yeah. So it's been fairly average, normal, boring week, I think.
Apart from like doing more researchy stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Sick has been working like a mad person.
I managed to finish the majority of the video.
Yeah, we've Mrs. Sick's first premiere Madame Sick video is almost ready to go. All we need now is for me to stop hating every single piece of music that I hear to go as a backing track, because apparently I'm really fucking picky, and I'm not sure whether it's me.
Just pick out, don't matter. You barely hear it anyway.
I don't know if it's me being really picky, or if just everything I've heard has actually sounded genuinely wrong. But every time I'm so used to not having music as a background to my voice. I mean, most people are. But I mean, in terms of videos, that I do find it really strange and sort of off-putting. I'm like, because it adds a tone. It adds a sort of something.
Well, because you're not responding to other people, and it's just basically you talking for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It makes sense that there would be music in the background.
Absolutely. I mean, I said we should put music in the background, and now I'm being very difficult about it, apparently. But so far I haven't found anything that I particularly like. Pick good music, not bad music. Thank you for that advice, Mr. 3000, because I'm not calling you by your first name.
Yeah, let's just have some death metal over it. You can't even hear what you're saying.
Oh my god, that would actually be a man. Me, a fan of symphonic death metal, Vicky. Hey, I like avant-garde metal too. And I like normal death metal sometimes.
Normal.
I mean, none of it's particularly normal, but you know. Hello, Governor. How's it then? It's fine, Peck. Mr. Peck. So I've been having. It's quite annoying because up until now, it's mostly just me waiting for Mrs. Sick to finish a section so that I can record a bit more, and now I've become totally a bottleneck, and it's annoying. I don't like being a bottleneck. It makes me feel like...
Well, I sent a load of options for you, so maybe you can find one of those.
How many did you actually send? Because
probably like 8.
Right. Okay, hopefully one of those I'll just hear it and be like...
I just went, free jazz music.
Yeah, I know we've been thinking jazz. Kevin MacLeod. We've listened to some Kevin MacLeod, and
I think I actually gave you some of those.
Probably.
But yeah. Apart from just basically finishing up doing a bit of sound stuff, he's relatively done.
It's basically finished.
Yeah.
I did some tinkering around
and
with...
I've been working on the next stuff after this one today.
I worked some magic because I've got a little bit more experience with general editing than Mr. I know a couple of tricks. Although to be fair,
I don't do technical stuff.
she taught me one that I just never bothered to use. I knew it existed, but I just, for some reason, I'm sure I tried it, and it just didn't work as I expected. But the general multi-highlighter thing, you know, the drag box, I never used it before. I used to control click, 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 like, and sometimes dozens of items. And yeah, so I've started using that, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going to save so much time.
How much videos is she going to put out week/month? Whenever I want. And basically, I'm trying to take my time with stuff, especially since I'm doing a lot of visual jokes through the artwork. I don't want to overwork myself because then it won't be funny anymore.
Yeah, and to be fair, she doesn't want to do any of the voice work, so I do all the VO.
No, nobody wants to hear me for 25 minutes.
Apparently they do. I don't know what's wrong with them. I was thinking of making her make like an advert or something at the end. Just so there's Make you, force you.
Oh, fuck. Don't force me to do shit, I won't do it.
Okay, I'll penis you to do it.
Tempted.
Read this. Why? Because penis. Well,
if you're going to offer me cock, then...
Weird relationships. Usually the other way round. So 2 a year. I mean, we reckon you could probably do about 4.
Yeah, probably 1 a season.
They're not going to be super common. But to be fair, you've got...
Most of the time, it just goes into researching it. Like, today, I realised that I'm going to have to buy a book in order to actually properly do research and stuff, because I can't find a PDF version of it. So I thought, fuck it, alright, let's just buy the books so I can actually do a really good job.
Why is the gas station making you pizza? Surely they should make you gas. I don't understand.
Gasoline pizza.
Oh. I mean, we'd call it a petrol pizza, but still.
Petrol pizza sounds way better, though. Petrol's such a better word. Just because that's what I'm used to, so therefore... I don't want to hear you for 25 seconds if that helps. Shockingly. John strategy.
Yeah, but they'll still be my shite videos to sort of make up the difference. And again, it's mostly me talking. It's just I'm slightly more professional about it.
This thing though, after I've done all the research stuff, then you've got to record it and edit it, and then we've got to do all the artwork to go with it. Of course, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's still...
So it was something like, in this 25-minute video that we've done, it's like 270 pieces of artwork, and it got to the point where I just towards the end, I was like, right, fuck it, I'll just start repeating rather than drawing more stuff.
Well, I mean, my average recording length before it gets edited down is like 10 to 15 minutes for a normal video. For this, it was 30 minutes worth of recording. And I was far more picky about my takes, so it took for bastard ever. If I'd have done it back to back, it probably would have taken me about 4 hours to do all of the audio.
Petrol station food is not questionable in the least.
I just don't. Are they like actually making you a? They have a decent food department that makes. Yeah, all right. They make food from scratch. That's so fucking weird. But also, I mean, it is Sunday at 4, so I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's past 4. I mean, you know, because everything shuts on a Sunday.
Yeah, I put all that effort into doing the hour. Boss Tuber says, "I'll just watch it as a podcast."
I mean, you very much could, but it'll be well worth. Some of the fucking visual gags are superb. Some of them. It was quite fun to sit down and just watch through and occasionally just peek over your shoulder to see what the fuck you're doing, and you're just drawing something completely fucking stupid, and it's like, oh, okay, I wonder what that's for. I know that you did a couple of bits that you didn't know what you were going to use them for. You just made them anyway. And then you found somewhere to use them.
And then one of them ended up being my desktop because I loved it so much.
But yeah, that's NordVPN/Music. Who the fuck is Music? She sounds like an asshole. She's Mrs.
I was looking up Mrs. Sick on Google to see what comes up.
And?
As you do. And there's someone on Instagram who basically has my Twitter tag on their Instagram.
Right.
And it's just like full of pictures to do with her stuff.
What
and
a
I was
bitch.
like, who the fuck are you?
I know the only other Cersei
It's like
is
the thing as well, she's like a Vape Nation thing. So
maybe it is you. Do you have an alternate life that you
I don't
realise?
vape anymore, do I? So
there you go. That's where the vaping went.
yeah.
You stopped vaping and the universe forced another Mrs. Sick into existence who vapes. So, is this a Sunday stream? It's 8 a.m. Monday here. I was meant to sleep, but I drank whiskey. I blame you. It's 8 a.m. on Monday. God damn. Yeah, this is a Sunday stream for us. And it's 9 p.m. on a Sunday, obviously.
When is Cersei going to start selling armour?
I would, but I'm not very good at making it yet. You could get some cardboard armour.
You need some blacksmithing help.
Yeah, I need to level up my smithing.
What's that thing? The guy who makes ridiculous weapons. He made like the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy.
Oh, Man at Arms.
Yeah, I like that guy. He's quite fit as well.
Yeah, he made a Keyblade and all sorts of random shit. Yeah. It's pretty sick. I think he made the gravity gun as well from Half-Life 2, which obviously isn't much of a sword, but you could probably beat someone to death with it quite handily.
The Buster Sword one. It took like 3 guys to
lift
it.
It's so fucking ridiculous. I mean, we all knew that it was stupidly big, and then just seeing it IRL, it's like, holy fucking Christ, that sword is big. I think it'd be heavier than the. It's like 6 feet.
Yeah, something like that.
But
like
the Masamune or Masamune or however the fuck it's pronounced, Sephiroth sword is like 7 foot. But I imagine slightly lighter because it's more of a katana style weapon.
Do you go to church on Sundays for the free biscuits? I did for a while. And it's fucking bollocks.
We have to.
Like, here's a bit of sugar paper, and a bit of non-alcoholic wine. And I'm like, well, this is what people do every day, every week of their life is do this. It was just like this. Why don't you just go to a pub? You go have some wine there.
Can I lift a heavy sword? I mean, I can lift heavy things. The Muramasa, the Masamune is a different weapon. Although I do like Terraria a lot.
You are quite strong, though.
Yeah, I'm relatively strong. I don't consider myself like hugely strong, but I'm definitely not.
I'm not strong at all, me.
The kids say, "Daddy, I'm weak," because they're not as strong as me. But yeah, I can lift. I do lift, as a matter of fact. So you know.
Do you lift, bro?
I do, bro. I lift regularly. Not like a fucking person who actually gives a shit about weightlifting.
We have cookies, but we also have biscuits.
Yeah.
Because we're civilized.
Cookies are a type of biscuit. That's the thing. And a biscuit is not a fucking bread roll or whatever the hell. Cookies are the ones. A chocolate chip cookie is what we think when we think cookie. That is a cookie. Any other kind of...
shortbread is biscuit.
Yeah. And
chocolate digestive is biscuit.
Yeah.
Jaffa cake is cake.
Jaffa cake is cake. It's in the fucking name. And they proved it by baking a really big one.
Lift heavy thing. I can lift some heavy things.
The heaviest thing she can lift is herself.
Wow.
I mean, it's probably true though.
Wow.
Do you think you could lift something heavier than yourself?
I've lost weight, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I don't actually lift myself.
Can you do pull-ups?
A pull-up?
Yeah. Although now when I think pull-ups, because we've had kids, I just think of fucking nappies.
No. Oh yeah. no, I can't do it. But my sister can. I can't.
Well, your sister doesn't fucking have...
Oh no, my sister don't weigh anything.
She weighs about 3 stone soaking wet. Then you don't have biscuits and gravy. Biscuits and gravy in the UK would be the weirdest fucking thing you've ever seen. Because gravy for us is like a beef broth for pouring on...
And their biscuits is bread, isn't it? It's like stale bread.
No. In the UK, gravy is a different thing. The gravy the Americans have is this white stuff that I don't even know what it's made of.
That's not gravy.
I know.
That's white sauce.
Yeah. The gravy is stock, basically. Beef stock and
chicken stock.
Broth. Or chicken stock.
Veggie stock.
Yeah. And then with sort of thickeners in it. And biscuits are... It'd be like putting, stock onto cookies. That would be very strange. I imagine it probably wouldn't taste as nasty as you'd think. But it would be conceptually disgusting, so you know.
In terms of...
What is GravyNaise? GravyNaise is my invention.
In terms of collabs, it depends because people can be unreliable.
I've done far less collabs than I have done in a very long time. Mostly because I just fucking hate doing work, and then it ending up being not worth doing. You know, they
people don't use it.
And no matter how reliable someone thinks they are, they don't know that something isn't going to go wrong in their lives. So it's mostly an anxiety thing. I suffer quite strongly from anxiety. So anything that I can control, I prefer to control. So I don't really do collabs because it takes away my control over how my work goes. So, I mean, with my current...
If people send something to you, it makes it easier. But
if it's something that I could work into...
send this thing to me, you don't like it.
But on the other hand, I mean, people have sent me things to put stuff into, and holy shit, they've been terrible. And, like, it's taken far more work to build that into something that I'm happy to attach my name to. Yeah, I'm really fucking picky. It's an anxiety thing. I fucking am picky. I have to be. Otherwise, my fucking brain sets itself on fire. It's not fun. Is GravyNaise what it sounds like? Yes, it's gravy and mayonnaise. Chips and gravy, always been a chav staple here. Yeah, but it's also delicious. Chips covered in gravy is just fucking really, really yummy.
Gravy's a northern dish.
Yeah. I mean, you keep saying gravy and you should stop because...
Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to say that
word. You're not supposed to say that without some sort of financial contribution because people kept asking. Beef cobbler is a beef stew with a scone topping. Very British but old-fashioned and also yummy. What's a chav, says Thick? Your mum. My mum is the furthest thing from a chav you could possibly imagine. Yeah. She's extremely middle class. And I'm also the furthest thing from a chav you could imagine. Generally speaking, a chav is just, if you don't know, it's scum. Just they're the British version of trailer trash, essentially. They live in, rough council estates, and they'll nick your car as soon as look at you. And yeah, they're just not very nice people. And it's pronounced chav. Some people, they read it, they think it's pronounced shav.
Shav.
Shav. But that's usually posh people. I always picture Australians drinking gravy out of a teacup. What? Chav equals council housed and violent. Yeah, you can be council housed and not violent, and thus not a chav.
You can also have a similar style to a chav, but also be a nice person. So
yeah,
it's a certain type of person.
Yeah, I mean, Cancel housed and violent is the basic thing.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
it
it's chav, CHAAV. But people can be chavvy without There was a lad who went to my school, and I went to not a phenomenal school, but a reasonably nice one. And he had a really lovely family, and they were all very, very nice. And he was the chavviest little bitch you've ever met in your life.
Well, like my neighbour when I was a kid, he had Adidas cap on, Adidas jacket, and stripes down his pants.
Yeah, the chavs do like their Adidas.
And he's Reebok trainers.
Reebok.
And he walked around like he was an hard man with his shoulders swaying. And he was nice. He was so nice. And he took care of his mum who was ill. And he was such a nice guy. And he's like, and he talked like a chav would as well. Like, in it, mate. And he was really nice.
Oh, I've been helping the
And
homeless.
then after we moved away from there, he became a rapper.
Burberry apes.
Burberry. Fake Burberry apes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's never real Burberry. Oh. And if you don't know what Burberry is, Burberry was a very, very, very expensive, is. I don't know, I'm assuming it still exists.
Yeah, it still exists.
Yeah. Oh, hi David. Welcome to the fucking whiskey club.
Welcome to the shit show. The chavs look like slabs.
The chavs. Do you know what?
Actually, that's very
the stereotypical that sort of Russian that stereotype look. Yeah, that's what chavs look like, but it's very specifically Reebok, Adidas, and Burberry caps. I'm assuming council housing is like Section 8 in the US. I'm assuming that Section 8 in the US is like council housing. It's
low income housing.
Yeah.
It depends where you live. Certain areas which are classed as council estates can be okay.
They're all council estates, but some are nicer than others. Some are fucking expensive.
Yeah, some are really expensive for what they are.
Yeah. I remember reading about this couple who were a perfectly nice couple, and they lived in a nice area, but in a council house, and they wanted to buy their council house, and then found out it was worth £500,000, and they're like, oh, never mind, we'll carry on renting for fuck all from the government. Yeah, government funded housing. Yeah, it's affordable housing basically. If you can't afford to buy or rent private, you apply for council house. Not the most salubrious housing. Again, some of it is nice.
It depends on the area, and it also depends on the locals as well.
Yeah, there's areas that are very nice, and there's areas that are full of chavs.
And it depends. It depends how much care is put into it, because sometimes, like they're quite run down areas, and other times they're all right. So it just depends.
I live in Portsmouth. Hell, surrounded by it.
What? Everywhere else except Portsmouth is hell.
Or Portsmouth is hell. I don't know. I don't know much about Portsmouth. I don't think I've ever been.
I know it's down south.
Down south somewhere.
Down south.
Slabs are tight at Adidas. Also, people outside UK saying Chiswick, Norwich, Southwark. Southwark, Southwark. Yeah, Chiswick.
Oh God.
Norwich.
When I went to London, as a kid, the first time I saw whapping on a sign.
What does whapping mean?
It's not called whapping, but that's what it's spelt like.
Oh, what are you talking about?
It's a place down south.
Oh.
I think it's called like Warping or something.
I'm not sure.
But it's spelt whapping, and I thought it's the funniest thing I've ever seen because it sounds like fapping.
I mean, I used to live somewhat close to a place called Bagshot.
Oh my God, you haven't said Bagshot in years.
Yeah, and we drove past it.
Bagshot.
It was like 3 or 4 towns over from where I used to live before I moved up here, and you saw the sign to Bagshot when we were passing through, and you couldn't stop fucking laughing. At no point had it occurred to me that Bagshot might even be remotely funny.
When I lived in the projects, the rent was 25 cents a month back in the 90s. Damn!
What? How does that work? That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's the projects though.
Ah.
They're usually quite run down areas projects.
Do you have gypsies in your country? Yes.
We have a certain type of gypsy.
Yeah, well, there's all sorts of types of gypsy, but yes. Council estates in this part of Scotland are like Beirut, washing machines and cars in the front garden. Oof. Do you have tweakers in your town? Here in Northern California, they're everywhere. Not that I've noticed, but I'm reasonably certain that they exist. I think they just keep to the back alleys. Keep out of your face.
We do tend to get quite a lot of people asking for money when they don't really need it.
Oh, that's classic though. Everybody everywhere. There's a person who everybody fucking knows of, who everybody has given like a quid to at some point in their life, and then the next time they ask for the exact same thing for the exact same reason, you go, "But I already gave you. You said, can I borrow a quid, mate? And you borrowed a quid, and now you're asking to borrow another one. Am I going to get my first quid back? You fucking thieving scat." And then it turned out that the one that is local to us is the fucking brother of a friend of yours.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, holy fucking shit. And he was like, this guy, he looks like this. Yeah, that's it. He was like, oh, fucking hell, you poor bastard. And it turns out, yeah, that he's kind of a dickhead. Shocking. Do you consider bourbon whiskey? I mean, it's literally called a whiskey, so yes. And it all goes in my face, so it's fine.
I'm pretty sure people do meth in the UK, but I don't know if it's that popular.
I imagine that meth is done, but meth is not, like, populare.
Yeah.
I don't know, what is ketamine?
Ket is definitely popular, and ecstasy, that's pretty popular.
I'm trying to think what I hear people talking about, and I don't really talk to people, so I don't really...
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember back in the day when we actually went out.
Got a serious homeless epidemic in my town. There's thousands, literally. Oof. I wouldn't even know. What goes in six face? Whiskey goes in my face. Many whiskey.
I was going to say cock, but never mind.
Whiskey doesn't need to age, but bourbon does. And then it needs to go in my face. I'm sure you're supposed to drink alcohol and not use it as face wash. Not on my face. Inserted into my face through one of the many face holes. As long as it gets inside my body, I don't really care. But I generally prefer to taste it first.
I think there's more homeless in LA than in the UK at this stage. I know that American can be a bit weird about homelessness, but in the UK, there's usually things in place to help people who are homeless. A lot easier to get access to things.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't really know America that pretty well, but there's usually things in place where you can try and get homes fairly easily. For men, it's harder, but you can usually get it.
I'm lazy. I'd say, can I have drug money? No. There you go. Now you don't have to have if you have a drug problem, it's that you don't have any drugs. Oh, that's still one of my favourite things, actually. When people talk about, my parents used to tell me that everyone would try and give me drugs. And then so...
Oh my God, no!
What?
Jesus Christ, my period blood goes in your face hole. No.
No, we're not into the, what do they call it, Rainbow Road or something like that.
Really?
See, it was something like that. I heard it the first time and I was like...
Oh my God.
What do you mean?
No.
I was like, oh, gross.
Oh, freaking stupid thick hair. The bobble broke.
Your hair is too thick.
Well, I need to tie my hair up though.
Then you tie the bobble with the fucking reef knot and then it's fine.
I don't know how to do a reef knot.
Well, that's because you're not a scout.
Like, you tie knots better than I do, and you sew better than I do. And you
What?
cook better than I. You're the woman.
I cook more than you do. It's not about being better. I just do things. That's my job.
Oh, no, they're giving names for it now. No.
Go on.
Blood spots, Red Wings.
Oh, I've heard of Red Wings.
Oh my god. No, it's definitely something I'm not into. I feel ashamed when I'm on my period. I think everybody should. It's not nice.
You fucking hate all the campaigns.
It's gross. It feels gross. It's like, it's wet and gooey and horrible, and then you've got to deal with the smell of it, and you're like, oh god, I feel ashamed. I need to shower every 5 minutes.
In America, we actually have way too many government programs that actually cause homeless people to want to stay homeless, and we need to complete makeover of our homeless program. Yeah, I don't know much.
Yeah, I think mental health care is one of the big things that needs to be dealt with as well, because a lot of people, they'll go into their own houses, or they'll get access to a house, and they don't know what to do with it, because they're not in the right mind.
I like that roof.
I am not a free bleeder. Oh my god, it's fucking gross. There's the idea you sat there like, oh, it's fine, I'll just leave patches of blood around the house. I'm like, no.
Patches? Puddles?
Yeah, for me, puddles, yeah. Maybe it's for other women that don't bleed as often, but I heavy bleed, so...
This is a very fun conversation. We've all had Red Wings, but you should have to leave the village like the Bible. Everyone should feel ashamed when Mrs. Sick is on her period. Got it.
Yes, you should. It's horrible.
I mean, I always feel ashamed regardless, so, you know.
Everything about periods is horrible, but it's better than having to deal with crappy hormones. Like all the hormonal stuff I have to take in order to stop periods.
You make more money on SSI than minimum wage sometimes. Well, to me, that seems like more of a problem with minimum wage programs.
Yeah.
Because many moons ago, when me and Mrs. Sick, both of us were on the dole, and we worked very hard to get out of that situation. And the first job I got out of it left me with less money than not having a job, which is the most fucking insane concept. I literally couldn't wrap my fucking head around it for about 3 days before I really realised what the fuck was going on. I mean, I carried on working because I wanted to fucking work, but it was stupid.
There was also the thing as well where, I get it to a certain extent. If you're over the age of 25, you get more money, because obviously you're more likely to have kids and responsibilities. So that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, you also get money to help with children anyway. So the idea that a 22-year-old doesn't need as much money in order to actually support their lifestyle is a bit strange to me. But I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs completely why they choose to do that. But it's still fucking annoying that young people end up not being able to actually hold down jobs for very long because they can't pay the bills. That's why a lot of kids end up going back to their parents.
Yeah. We tried raising minimum wage in Vermont a decade ago, destroyed us. I mean, I'm not talking about minimum wage. I'm talking about if you have benefits for people that makes them have more money by not having a job, well, then have a different benefit that means that they're still getting paid a certain amount and have a job. Because then you just have less people taking up less things. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fucking economist. I'm not an expert. But we've got to assume that there are better ways of doing things, and not always just take everything away and fuck the people who are in the hardest positions, because that's just an untenable position to me.
Yeah, Rob, that can happen. I have met people who ultimately completely refuse to even try and get a job.
Oh, they absolutely they exist.
And rather than trying to find a job, they'll have another child.
Yeah.
And there's women who have had like 6, 7, 8 children, one after the other just because they don't want to work and it's an excuse not to work.
Yeah.
And you do get people like that, but there's plenty of other people that actually want to work.
I don't really understand what universal credit would be, and thankfully I was out of that situation before it would have even become a problem. But I would certainly look into it. Sick. I'm not an expert. Yeah, at anything. A fact backed up by science. Yeah, subsidising things.
I'm an expert at giving my own opinion.
Sick doesn't vote. I don't. And some people really fucking hate me for that, and I don't care.
No, I don't vote either. Like, why, what's the point in voting someone in if they're just going to change their policies or go, oh, well, let's cut that off and that don't matter anymore and that don't matter. Well, that's the reason I voted for you.
If you pay someone not to work, they will never work again, no matter how much more they would have by working. Some people.
Yeah, some
people. But I think most people don't want to be in that situation. We didn't want to be in that situation. We were being paid.
The idea of sitting around doing nothing all day is horrible to me. I don't like the sound.
I mean, if you're saying pay them specifically not to work, or do you mean pay them for not working? Because, like I said, we had some friends in a similar situation to us. All of us wanted work. All of us got work, got out of it, did our own things, did whatever we could not to be on the dole, because it fucking sucks. It's absolutely soul destroying. Now, some people don't care. Some people are happy to do it. And I don't know how to deal with those people, but I don't really care about those people at the same time.
It all,
they are such a tiny minority of all people.
Last time I checked,
isn't it like less than 1%?
This is for the UK anyway. It said less than 8% of people choose to go on the dole because they do not want to work.
You've been brainwashed by big work.
I think last time I checked, it was like less than 8% of the UK. So how many people live in the UK?
A fair amount.
Yeah, and it says like less than 8% of people actually, the only reason they go on the dole is to not work.
You don't do anything for benefits. There are things that you do, and there are work programs, and there's all sorts of random shit.
In order to stay on certain types of benefits, you need to be able to fulfill a criteria. If you don't fulfill it, then they knock you off of it.
Yeah. What happens to your money when the Queen dies? Do they print all new stuff with the new ruler's face on it? I assume so.
Probably.
Or they'll change it completely. I don't fucking know.
Queen's been around my whole life. I don't think she's ever going to die.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure her consciousness is going to be put in a robot.
She's going for Queen Victoria's record, because Queen Victoria was queen for 2,000 years. 65 million in the UK. So a fair amount.
How many flat earths in the...
Too many.
Probably some, but not as much as America. America seems to be quite leading in certain things.
I think...
Yeah, 65 million UK. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, a good number of the flurfers I've covered have all been English. And, I mean, there's Fuck It Word. He's clearly... I'm pretty sure he's from the UK. So, all my money has the Queen on it. It's not supposed to. You just draw it on it every time you get a new note. Used to be able to use Georgian coins in the old days.
Voting should also include you can actually do that. You can actually go to a voting booth and select something that basically makes it counts your vote, but it also makes it like as a protest non-vote. But the idea of going all the way over there to do that when you could just not go.
Do we have young Earth creationists? Absolutely.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I haven't met one, but then most people haven't met a young Earth creationist or anything like that, because they are still the minority of most people, and they are a little bit balmy. Queenie doesn't have another trade. She's sticking to what she knows. I mean, if you want to talk about benefit sponges...
Even though the Queen does provide...
Yes. It was a joke. Shut up. Your economy will collapse because your money is only backed up by the word of the Queen. But if no Queen, your money is worthless. Yes, because that's actually how it works.
Are you working YouTube full time? How does the paperwork look like?
I am working YouTube as my primary source of income, but I do other things as well to make money, which used to be my main hustles and are now my side hustles, which mostly involve selling things and fixing things and then selling them. But the paperwork is actually reasonably easy. I do all my own taxes, which no one in my entire extended family, if they've ever had to do taxes, does their own taxes. They all hire fucking accountants. And I realised recently that every piece of information that I require to do the taxes, because I buy all my fucking stuff online and all of my paperwork is like digital copies from the internet, so they're really easy for me to get a hold of. So it was an absolute piece of piss to do all of my actual taxes. So, not too bad, really. I still fucking hate doing it. I hated doing it this year. I'm going to do it early. I say this year. Last year's tax, I just did it in January. The tax year starts in April. So I'll do this and the end of last year's tax, this fucking thing. And I'm going to pay it early.
Cedric owns a whorehouse. He works it by hand because he doesn't have any girls yet. It's just like...
Yeah, but I'm the only client as well.
I love the idea that it just says brothel on the side. Girls, girls, girls. The guy comes in, he's just you sat in a chair going, sit down, mate. And they just start jacking off like, there you go.
That's a fucking League of Gentlemen joke.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a character in it who does massages, and then someone... I can't remember the exact circumstances, but he ends up giving someone a hand job, and he's like, oh, for fuck's sake. And he's apparently really, really, really good at it. So people start turning up in droves. So he just has like two people sat either side of him, and he's like trying to look away, but when jacking everyone up. Oh, League of Gentlemen. If you have not seen the League of Gentlemen, oh my god, that fucking... and UK, it's not the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, different thing.
UK nowhere near as religious. I think the last census said like the religious the people who were religious dropped. Was it Christianity dropped like by 50% or something? I
don't know, but if you push most British people into what religious beliefs they have, they're gonna say Jedi.
Like my auntie says, "Oh, I'm a Christian." She never goes to church. She swears like a sailor. She drinks like
a sailor.
And
fucks like a sailor.
She does it out of tradition. She doesn't. And I asked her, "Do you actually believe in God?" And she said, "Well, no." I went, "Well, do you believe in anything to do with the Bible? Have you read the Bible? Or do you believe in that Jesus is your Lord and Savior?" "No, I don't." I'm like, "Well, you're not Christian then." But she calls herself Christian because it's a tradition, and like loads of older people do that as well. And it's strange to me why they do that. But yeah, it's a thing apparently. Church of England is really... It's a sect of Christianity, yeah. It's Protestant, I think. It's just it's like a combat to Catholicism, isn't it?
Church of England is technically, that.
It might tell I like myself as Jedi in the last census.
Yeah, the most religious person in my entire family that I know of is my grandmother, who genuinely considers herself Christian and believes in God and believes Jesus is going to save me. She actually sat me down one day and she said, I know, that there's a lot of things happening and I know you don't believe, but I know that one day Jesus will save you. And I literally laughed my arse off in her face. And it was one of the rudest things that I've ever done. And I don't fucking regret it. Because the way she said it was also incredibly fucking rude. And stupid and presumptuous. Because...
Like, I found out that my granddad... This was after he died, though. But I found out my granddad was a Mormon.
Yeah, technically Mormon.
Technically he's a Mormon. But he didn't actively practice. He never went to the church. He never actually did all the practices
You didn't know.
And
no.
I found out the reason he stopped was because after he had kids, he said he didn't want to push his religion on his kids. He wanted them to discover things for themselves.
Which isn't particularly Mormon, to be fair.
Yeah, and
so I don't think he was that into it.
My grandma, I don't think she was religious either. So a lot of my mum's side are very secular, and it's probably like the whole my mum's strange though.
I am Catholic. I don't believe a thing about it, but I don't quit because I like Madonna's "Like a Prayer" video.
I find it like
That's why I'm a virgin.
Like my mum's an atheist, but she has this big inclination towards ghosts and angels.
I mean, yeah, that's...
And I find that really weird, considering, like, it's a very similar belief to God anyway.
I mean, it's the same difference, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's strange, but yeah, some people are like that. It's weird.
One day, Sick will visit Mexico and be saved by a guy named Jesus. I'll, like, fall in front of a fucking train and... None. I was saved by Jesus. Here he is.
Like,
say hi, Jesus.
He's like, my name's Jesus.
It's Jesus. Yes, Jesus. Fucking hell. Calm down. Get all uppity.
Bad Mormon.
A Grandad Mrs. Six story. Some atheists like the supernatural, yeah, and some don't. Pseudoscience is really big nowadays. I know, and it's great for business.
My uncle's family pretended to be Jehovah's Witnesses so they didn't have to get gifts at Christmas.
Oof.
I had a JW friend at school, and they didn't. This is where I discovered that they don't celebrate birthdays. I know it's probably certain sects, but
I think it's all of them.
But they do. She says, I don't, because I invited her over to a Halloween party. She says, oh, we don't celebrate Halloween. I can't do that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't celebrate it either. We just do it.
And they said that their birthday was in early November, and I was like, oh, maybe you can do a birthday party then, because I was really eager to hang out with them. Oh, we don't do birthday parties.
Do you think actually she just didn't like you?
It's sinful.
Do you think she just didn't like you?
Probably. Loads of people didn't like me.
Yeah. I mean, the chat hates you.
Yeah, I know.
You hate her, don't you, chat? They're all going to be nice now, like the assholes
Believe in
they
angels,
are.
etc. You're one step away from werewolves, vampires, and fairies. Oh God, the kids. The girls say, I don't believe in God and I don't think angels are real, but the tooth fairy is definitely real. And I was like, I don't want to break their heart. And I'm like, nah, just leave them to it.
What about Santa? Yeah, Santa's real. I mean, don't be fucking stupid. Jesus saves Maradona the rebound. Look, two people made basically the same joke. Shit, there's a lot of fucking text up there. Oh fuck, dropping keyboards. Never mind, it's fine. Congratulations.
Alright, I'm gonna go for a slash.
I haven't found... Oh, fucking hell. I haven't found... Oh, fuck's sake. Stop going past things. I haven't found the courage yet to tell my parents that I'm an atheist. When my brother did, Mother was very mad. I think my grandmother would get a heart attack. Yeah, I mean... I can see the reasons not to. In my family, it wasn't a big deal. But when it's everyone in your family, I can see the difficulty, and that can be very upsetting. I mean, thankfully, I don't particularly like anybody, so I don't care what most people think about me. As long as what they think about me is correct. Just outside of our university, there are always a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses, and I can only think of people that failed exams getting into it and then dropping out because JWs are stupid. Essentially. Chat feels for Mississippi. No. The Tooth Fairy is a kind of version of the scarier Bone Fairy. I like the Bone Fairy. Wait, if I leave... I
have measured my penis. My penis is at least 18 foot.
Yeah. She gets it run over a lot.
Well, look at the size of me. I am huge compared to Sir Six.
Cool.
So...
I am a tiny shoulder goblin. On the rare occasion where it's Mrs. and not Sir Six going for a number one. Yeah.
Oh, it's only because I'm drinking a lot of cider.
I only disappeared while she was talking to get a drink, so it's as if I've never left. My grandma is on
All hail the
Facebook.
bone fairy.
Yeah, I want to know. So, what happens if you lose a bone? I mean, not lose, but like a bone comes out.
I saw this thing. And it
Like
says,
you have your arm chopped off.
Teaching your children about the tooth fairy is the most occult thing I can think of. That there's this tiny pixie creature that comes and steals your bones and leaves coins behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? If I'd have had my way, I probably wouldn't have even bothered with the whole tooth fairy thing at all. Mostly because I don't like giving away money.
I want to keep their imagination type stuff alive. That's the type of stuff. These are the type of things that it's easier to grow out of.
No, look, you just tell them that life is actually fair. That's a fantasy that
I was talking about
soon disappoint them.
the other day. I was talking about sock gnomes. That the gnomes come along and they steal your socks, which is
That's the kind of thing that terrifies a fucking
right?
child.
And I was like, oh, yeah, they come in and steal your socks. That's what it does. And I went, also the washing machine eats the socks. And they sat there going, oh wow, does it really, mummy? And I was like, no,
Oh my God,
no, I'm playing. It's fine.
That's the problem with kids, is that they will believe everything you say to them, and the issue is how tempting it is to lie to them. And lie to them and lie to them.
Quick stick.
How do you lose a bone?
Do Northerners believe in the gravy fairy?
I mean, where does gravy come from? It's obviously gravy fairy shit. How do you lose a bone? Do you just drop it off the edge of the definitely flat earth? Well, I meant in terms of it coming out of your body. So, like, if you had your arm chopped off, you strip the arm of all the muscle tissue, and then you leave that underneath your pillow, and he leaves like 500 quid or something.
David said it would be genuinely terrifying if you were woken up by a tooth fairy.
I imagine that a tooth fairy would be like a normal sized person, but completely clad in a suit made of teeth, but with just 2 eye holes.
My mum tells the kids that the tooth fairy takes the teeth and gives it to babies.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that until your mum said it.
I haven't either until she's brought it up.
And like, no. Apart from the fact that that's so fucking anatomically wrong, it hurts. Just no, that's disgusting. Religion only works because parents shove it into kids' heads while they're still soft. Well, that's not what happened to you, was it?
Hmm?
You grew up in a completely secular household and became religious, like the idiot she is.
Yeah, I grew up secular, and on my own accord, I started believing in God.
Yeah, she was a fucking hippie, basically.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. Danny DeVito is the tooth fairy. That makes too much sense.
It really does.
My favourite version of the tooth fairy, though, is the idea that the tooth fairy is actually the boogie monster, and that the boogie monster ends up liking kids. I think it's a Terry Pratchett thing.
That's one of the things I was trying, like, because my mum said, the boogie monster's, if you don't go to sleep at night, he comes out and gets you.
It's like, oh yeah, that helps kids go to sleep.
It terrified me as a child. Anytime I saw a shadow on my wall, it freaked me the fuck out.
You still get fucking freaked out by shadows.
Not as much as I used to.
You still get freaked out by shadows,
it's
though.
It's sort of like a back of the mind thing. I was very adamant about making sure that the kids do not have that. And now, they can walk around in the dark during the house. Like, they're just pot to toilet and they're not bothered.
The problem is, we should have made them scared of the dark. Because now, if you get up in the middle of the night needing the toilet, and then you sit on the toilet, and then you hear this skittering noise go in front of the fucking bathroom door, it's one of the fucking kids, but they've got this fucking grudge hair going on, and then they skitter past, and then they just appear at the door, head forward, and you like, hi, are you alright, darling? What's the noise she makes? Fucking, oh my god. Are you okay? You need the toilet? Oh, it's fine, I'm finished now, thank you. Yeah. Jesus did everything that gods in something in the Levant had been doing for centuries. Okay.
No, David, take me with you.
Oh, popping out for a jolly. Quick, let's finish now before he gets back. I believe that God and religion was created for the control of the unintellectual and to give a purpose to people in their life and death. I mean, essentially, for the most part. I mean, the other parts is that people believe.
My conclusion, the reason why people
need ways to describe
the
things.
The reason why people. My conclusion is that it gives people a sense of control over their anxieties of danger in the world, and also it gives them an because then one of the original ideas of where religion came from is animism, the idea that people thought, okay, I can hear my own thoughts in my head, but that person over there, I can't hear their thoughts. That means that they're different from me. That means plants are different from me, and rocks are different from me, and sunshine is different from me. That means if I'm aware of myself, then that other person is aware of themselves. Plants are aware of themselves, and rocks are aware of themselves. Everything has a spirit, and everything has like that type of thing. And it came from that notion, and then the popular spirits became gods. And that's the way it came. If I appease this rock god, he will, provide me with water or whatever bollocks. And that's where it came from. It's just people trying to understand the world, and obviously trying to alleviate anxieties about, like, oh, if I appease this god, then that means that we won't have flooding, and if I appease this god, it means we won't have any drought. And yeah, that's where it came from.
To an extent. Just quick sticks. My cousin had a gollywog and called it the Ooga Booga Man who was coming to get me. That just reminds me, I was a cousin to my little cousin, and I'd watched a film that weekend, and then we went to go stay over at their house, and the film had this little girl that would just go, "There's someone at the door. There's someone at the door. There's someone at the door." So I just started whispering that while we were in bed, and he started freaking out. It was fucking hilarious. Good times. Just, you got to torture whoever you can when you're a kid. Otherwise, how are you supposed to grow up into a well-rounded adult? If you try hard enough, you can feel the pheromones in the air, and you can technically control that, and you can see people's thoughts. Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. Even parts of the Bible are similar. The whole universe moans and travails. I mean, they all moan.
That's just me in the morning. Why am I alive?
What do you travail? I don't know what travail means.
Hang on. Hey Google, what does travail mean?
This is the definition of prevail.
She said prevail.
Knobhead.
Hey Google, you dumb. She's gonna apologise now. Yeah. You're sorry. You are sorry. You fucking asshole.
If I had to believe in gods, I vote for Norse ones. The Norse also believed the idea that you can't rely on the gods for everything, because gods don't respect you if you expect everything from them. You have to do things for yourself. Which is kind of a thing I kind of agree with in a sense.
I believe in the Klingon gods, because the Klingons killed them. They were too much trouble. Or something like that. I'm such a nerd. Right, on that epic note, it is almost time. It's almost 10. So we're probably going to fuck off in a minute. But yeah, Mrs. Six video is...
set up someone's Google Home.
Yeah! Hey Google! Porn noises. Ah. Yeah, Mrs. Six video, we'll have that sorted when we have it sorted. But it's basically done. It just needs to be rendered once we figure out what to put in it, rather than any particular hard work. I'm editing my current video. That I don't know when that's going to come out, but whatever. I'm keeping on top of actually getting 2 videos made a week, although considering recent events, I'm still not ahead any, so that's fun. But yeah, we will see you next week, and hopefully other shit will happen. I mean, it is the girls'
Yeah, it's the kid's birthday next week. So, we'll see. But we're probably definitely going to be doing a stream on the Sunday.
I imagine that we'll have a stream on the Sunday, so it shouldn't make much difference to anything else.
The party's on the Saturday, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only my mum coming to see them on...
Yeah, it's during the day, though.
Yeah, so...
That's fine.
And we might go out for tea with them. So, yeah. Anyway, that's us making plans. They really don't affect you lot. So we'll see you later. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye.